What's going on, guys? Hey, listen, today we've got another fragrance from the house of Replica. A lot of my young guys hit me up, and even some ladies on the channel, fellow subscribers, have asked about fragrances from the house of Replica, also known as Maison Margiela. And so we're almost at the end of my discovery set. We've got about two more, and here's one of them. So strap up. We're going for that ride.
Okay, dinner for two. I watch that head move side to side as I let this in into the room. You are on time, let's connect minds. Trying to get into a mood. We gon' be fine. Close up the blinds, no rush. Finish the food.
All right. Welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the late evening. Man, it's a late one. Probably about midnight right now. From the house of Maison Margiela, the Replica line specifically, we have Bubble Bath. And I came across a sick deal at Ross during the holidays last year where they had a 10 fragrance Replica discovery set for like $16 or something like that. Pretty incredible. And so at that point I had smelled I think Woodstock, Jazz Club, By the Fireplace, a couple of other ones. And I had pretty much made up my mind that this is a super overcharged house. They just charge like 80 to $100. Even I've seen it as high as like 120, I think, for their 100 mLs. And they're, to me, glorified Bath and Body Works type of sprays. You know, they feel like eau de toilettes, not in terms of performance, but just in terms of DNA. They're very light, they're very airy, and because they mimic so many artificially sweet and artificially clean notes in the air, it's hard to really take that house seriously. With that being said, I know there's a lot of people that completely disagree with me, mainly women, but also some younger men who gravitate towards things like Jazz Club and By the Fireplace, and even some of the lemony citrus fragrances or soapy clean fragrances. So that is just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. But we're going to smell Bubble Bath today. And without further ado, let's just jump right in. Had to nuke the test strip because the sprayer was quite weak at first. It looks like it broke through some calcium or something in the tube. Okay, I put it on skin just because I've realized so far in my wearing experience that sometimes the fragrance gets substantially worse when it hits skin versus the test strip and vice versa. So I do, especially when I'm either hating on or not for a particular house, I still want to give it an objective black and white review. I don't want to fluff it. I don't want to impose like preconceived ideas. I want to take each fragrance as is and give you guys an honest review. And hopefully you can separate my bias from the objective part of my review and still make a good decision as to whether or not you may like it. Not everything that I like, you're going to like, and there's things that I won't like that you'll like. So, yeah. Take every reviewer with a grain of salt, and hopefully those of you who have been watching me for a while know what I gravitate towards, know what my standards are towards evaluating fragrances, and that can all be put into context to help you realize if this is a gem or not. I'm going to let it sit on skin, and in the air I get a bit of coconut, soft, palatable coconut. You guys know how I am with coconut. It could be harsh, it could be fake. This definitely isn't like photoreal coconut, but it is natural-esque and soft. It's soapy, very musky. So you get a very, very airy, light, musky coconut with like some soap vibes. It's called Bubble Bath. So, I mean, it does smell like, you know, some very generic Johnson & Johnson Bubble Bath. And then just tucked away in the back, it seems like there's like some rose, you know, white floral rose. Maybe even an elevation of bergamot citrus, but it's not a citric fragrance. Just picture this like very light rose water scented, coconut scented bubble bath. Very basic, clean, good out of the shower smell, at least on the test strip. But the thing about it is with soap scents and white floral clean linen type of scents, you got to be very careful because everybody's natural body odor is different. So once you apply the fragrance to skin, a lot of times it can get a funky note, and you can't really change that. You know, you can have good hygiene all you want, but your natural skin does have a scent, you know? And so this is the whole concept behind like Molecule 1 and things like that. But anyway, on the test strip, it smells pretty decent. Extremely light, airy, 1-2 feet projective, you know, musky coconut, light rose in the background, white florals, and maybe some citrus for elevation. On skin, it does, on my skin, get a bit of funkiness. Now, I'm fresh out the shower, guys, and y'all know me. I don't use shower gels or nothing. I use like an African black soap. I prefer to be exfoliated, clean, and scentless when I get out of the shower. I might spray a scent, but as far as scents and fragrance in the shower via, you know, bar soaps and body washes and shampoos and conditioners and things like that, you know, I'm bald, so I don't even need to worry about shampoo and conditioner. I hit myself with that African black soap. Sometimes I might use like a natural coconutty, ambery type of bar soap, but it's still like a very minimal ingredient soap. So when I come out of there, I smell like nothing, and that's exactly how I like it. Some of y'all out there like to go to sleep with a fragrance and things like that, but not me. I like to just smell cold, crisp, clean air when I hit the bed. Yeah, test strip's very nice. On the skin, it kind of warms up and it tends to lean funky. Now, my skin is exfoliated, clean, so I know this isn't like the day's funk or anything like that. For any of you who might be curious, well, SB, did you even shower today? Yes, I just got out of the shower like an hour ago, and I made sure I was clean for this review. It's not bad on skin. It's not super funky. It just, due to skin oils or whatever, it has a kind of slight funked weight to it. The fragrance gets a little bottom heavy there. Okay, enough talking. This fragrance, surprisingly, is very reminiscent of Bonnie from Day 3 in the air. It's got a very Bonnie-esque style. For those of you who don't know, Bonnie is like the ultimate gender-neutral vacation scent out there, with a little touch of like a lot of white florals, musk, a little bit of mango, forget the other, coconut as well. So this is very much in the vein of that, but I would say this leans a little bit more powdery soapy, whereas the Bonnie feels a little more champagne luxury. Very close though. Man, you could almost, on the test strip, you could almost call this a clone of Bonnie. That's really interesting, actually, because you guys know me. I absolutely love Bonnie, so I am gravitating towards this scent just off of that merit alone, but it's definitely not a Bonnie replacement. I can tell you that much. Okay, let's go ahead and scroll down here. 3.7 out of 5, so out of 5,000 people, so a lot of people think it's pretty mid. Notes, we have soap and bergamot. I was right there. Lavender, jasmine, and rose. There's that rose. Base notes, coconut, musk, and patchouli. No real lavender or patchouli in this fragrance at all. Now, obviously, if you see the word soap here as a note, it's a phantom note. You know, they used some type of composition to imitate soap. It's not literal soap. Yeah, very Bonnie-esque. I'm not going to lie. Let's go ahead and go to some usual suspects and go ahead and wrap up here. So the longevity score on here, since we can rely on it, since there's, you know, over 5,000 purchased reviews on here, the longevity score, is there no longevity score? Okay. Okay, so 248 people say that this is not long-lasting. It's just moderate, and moderate sillage as well. So I'm going to guess a solid 4 hours of performance. I'm not really going to go above that. Maybe with the right hygiene, you put a lotion on, like I wear like a coconut lotion sometimes to elevate a scent like Bonnie. You might get some 6-hour carry, but I would say 4 to 6 hours comfortably with about a 2 feet projection bubble. Any season, any reason. This is genderless. Man or woman could wear it. I think it's slightly feminine leaning, similar to Bonnie. If I'm being technical, I can call it perfectly unisex, but due to the sweet fruit floral nature of a scent like this, it does lean slightly feminine, but you would just smell like really clean and proper as a man wearing this. But on a man, it becomes casual. On a woman, it's casual, upscale casual type of wear. You definitely don't get the luxury feel that Bonnie provides, which I feel can take it up to semi-formal in a vacation sense. Good scent though, man. It's scary how close it is to Bonnie. I would say like DNA scent profile wise, it's like 90% with a 10% deviation in the soap direction. Yeah, any season, any reason. Sprays on this, due to it being moderate, I would go 10 to 15. You know, nuke yourself with this. It's such a light, airy scent that the more sprays you do, it doesn't really affect, you know, projection or like it feeling too nuclear. It's a light, airy scent at the end of the day. I hit my test strip about 6-7 times, and it still smells nice and light on here. So I think you go crazy on the trigger finger and hope for the best for a scent like this. For those of you who are into gym scents and stuff like that, this might work. But again, I don't like gym scents. I sweat in the gym. I work hard in the gym. I don't like skin oil and funk and BO getting attached to a fragrance. I don't care how good, I don't care how light, airy the fragrance is. I'm not wearing a fragrance in the gym. Maybe after, you know, if I put in a good workout, I shower, yeah, maybe I'll throw in a fragrance on my exit, you know, leave a scent trail behind, let them know I was there and put in work. But no, I'm not working out with a fragrance. I'm sorry, guys. I just can't get with that. I always joke and say, you know, if you wear a fragrance to the gym, it's because you don't work out. Yeah, good fragrance. I'm going to call this a 8 out of 10. Above average, especially so far from this line in terms of the clean and citric, soapy, natured fragrances from this line. This is one of the better ones. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Good everyday wear. Can't creep into 9 or 10 for me because it isn't signature and it doesn't have a lot of depth to it, and nor carry. And there's a lot of other fragrances like it that are way better than it, in my opinion. Bonnie is the immediate standout in terms of closeness. So if you smelled this and you like it, please just upgrade and get Bonnie. It's an extrait, and that fragrance can go like 10 plus hours, and it's a much more depth of concept. You could take it from casual to semi-formal, and you get virtually the same thing with a good amount of more depth, probably by about 1 or 2 levels. I think Bonnie's, I give it like a 9 out of 10 or something like that. So, but compared to this, it's a 10 out of 10. So anyways, yeah, I don't want to speak about any other alternatives other than maybe like, again, Bonnie's going to be your closest one. Other veins it's similar to is like CK1, mostly just due to the white floral powder nature of it. CK Everyone, even a tad bit of Musk Therapy from Initio. But yeah, I think that's plenty enough for you guys. Again, this was Mesa Margiela Replica line, and this was Bubble Bath. Give it a solid 8 out of 10. And like, comment, and subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell. I drop episodes every single day, so if you're into fragrance content, this is where you want to be. Hope you guys have a blessed rest of your weekend, and let me know in the comments if you've tried this fragrance or if you have any questions. I do talk back and quite quickly. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one.